Hey y'all, what's up? How y'all doing? It's Monday, April. No, I'm sorry, we're in June. What I'm talking about? April look, I'm still saying April. I want to say the 8th. That's why I keep saying April. So it's June 8th. And I want y'all to know if you wasn't over there watching Eddie. Hey, Linda Ville. I cleaned up my desk a little bit because I had all this stuff. I was already hanging out with myself, before Eddie went live. And then he just made things go even better. Just it got gooder. It got gooder. I had my journal out earlier and was doing some things. And so I had to pause and watch him do his thing. But this is where we was earlier with all the things. And this is the one I was telling him where I had pulled him and Paul out. So there he and I put we were playing I was playing with the embossing powder because y'all know I love my embossing powder. Hello, Zal. Zal, you got your coffee? Ava Lee, hello. My coffee, it's I'm gonna go in and start drinking it while I wait on people to chime in. Because we're gonna be talking about some things. We're gonna be doing some creating, looking at all the yummy stuff that's on my desk, and I'm gonna flip through some pages. If you hear snoring, it's the dogs because they're in the studio. At some point, I'm quite sure they're going to have to go out. Okay. And that's fine too. Listen. Okay. I gotta say this, so I'm gonna say this. No sweat off my back. No love lost here. We'll talk about it later. Just saying. It's my desk. Isn't this pretty? So this was um my stamps and Darcy. We're just hanging out. Just hanging out. Hey, Cookie. Bernadette, what's up? Okay, this right here is, let me let it sit here for a minute. Yeah, let me let it sit there. Where are we? All right, let me get my desk together so I can have my chat just in case somebody says something that needs to be highlighted. I need that right there where I can see it because if you at me, I can see it. It draws more what do you call that thing? Draws my eye to it. Oh Lord, the puppy having a bad dream or Sienna, one of them. All right, let's scroll that, put that back over there. But yeah, so today I just wanted to kind of it's June, so as you know, I don't even have all my thumbnails up for June. Like I just kind of wanted to keep the thumbnails like guessing. I wanted my thumbnails to even be guessing, right? Because I didn't want to put too much pressure on me. How about that for June and July? Because y'all know I have the two granddaughters here, and I didn't want to put a whole lot of pressure on me because I know that my mind tends to want to hone in on what I have to do. And here on Mondays and Wednesdays, I like to focus on you guys and then my own mental. And I've learned since I've been, doing it this time, it's not that simple because I get distracted, I get squirrely. So, but I also learned that I am responsible for how I feel and all the things. And so I constantly tell myself, you're good, you got this, it's okay. We're doing a whole lot of self-talk over here, right? Self-awareness. Hey, Eddie. So that made me want to think about more about, what I was going to talk about this week. So I'm taking it week by week. And today, here in the studio over here at Create Joy Studio, for those that don't know, if you're on Team Replay, I am Karen McCoy. I am the person, sometimes you get FaceTime. If you go back to last year, I started out with FaceTime, but that required too much of my I don't know, uh, being present. And if I can't show up 100%, I just didn't want to be on camera. All right, remember to hit your live when you come in. Look, I had to hit that because I was like, wait a minute, something else happened. All right, get your coffee, get your water, get your drink, whatever you need, and let's chill out for a minute. We're gonna hang out because this is a continuation for today. Mariah started out um with some great would you call that collaging? I don't know if you call that collaging, but coloring and putting together with her color combo. And I was already yesterday thinking about well, ever since Friday, Saturday, really thinking about some things. I was thinking about self. Um, and so then today we're going to kind of talk about self-awareness. Self-awareness, because it's one of the four quadrants of the emotional intelligence. Hopefully y'all went down the emotional intelligence, kind of went down the Google, what is emotional intelligence and what the hell is she talking about kind of thing. If you didn't, then I'm gonna give you a little bit more today because it's one of those things I feel like they need to teach it in school. Like they need to teach real history in school. They need to teach emotional intelligence in school, self awareness. Really, really hone in on it more than they do math. Okay, I threw three more of my iridescent Nick Pro. That means I've used three of the bottles. And Eddie's nephew would have been mad because gold left first. And you can't buy them individually, so it's not like I can go and buy gold to replace because some of them I don't even use a lot of. I can tell the ones I love, but they're not. I'm not buying no more until they're done. Hey, Paula K. Right. So and if you are subscribed to my email, if you have either subscribed to the email or bought something from me, you're in my it's okay to send your email kind of thing. I have your email, you have mine, and we're dating each other kind of thing, right? So thank you for that. And but you got something in your mailbox last night, I think. Should have when you woke up this morning. And it's just me sharing because I do a lot of talking about things over here. And I want to really, I'm using the things that I talk about, right? So, like, I printed this out, like reflection notes, reflection, like I'm doing the work over here for me. So, if you subscribe to my email, you're a subscriber to my email, like you subscribe to a link or something, then you got one of those. Not one of those right there, but you got something that is kind of like you print out and you can, do your own thing. So to all my returning subscribers, thank you for coming back with me here at the studio. Hey, Julie Parker. I really do appreciate you guys. I do love that y'all choose to hang out with me on Mondays and Wednesdays, and I am so grateful that you continue to show up for these real conversations about healing and growing and some peace, some joy, and becoming a better me. And if you're becoming a better you from inside out, then great. Or you're just here for the art, then that's cool too. And if you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're on Team Replay, thank you for coming. Don't have to worry about subscribing right away. Just hang out with me for a little bit. I might not be your cup of tea. So, just don't let the good art on the desk persuade you. Let us date for about an hour. Then after that, if you want to hit that subscribe button, then I'll give you another invitation to hit that subscribe button. But no rush, no rush. Because here, y'all know, around here we talk about real life, real feelings, real accountability, real transformation, the stuff that's going on in the world today. And if we're not going too deep over here, we got channels that do go deep, 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 and they kind of prick your brain so that you can think about something, right? And while we're doing all that, we also create joy through art, journaling, personal reflection, public reflection. If you're bold enough to put something in the chat, that works out. But at the end of the day, I want to show up to be authentically who I am, which means I have to have honest conversations, right? Hi, Michelle. That's where we are right now. So today, we're going to be talking about something that can change the way you live. Maybe, maybe not. The way you respond, maybe, maybe not. Because you know what P say, we can entertain a thought without accepting it. Facts. Facts. The way you communicate, the way you heal, and the way you see yourself, That's right. I'm going to be talking about self-awareness. Why? Because I was like, put my hand on my head in the mirror and I was just like, you get more gray up there, girl. Had to be self-aware. Didn't need nobody to tell me that. Then I went and sat down. I was like, what does that mean to you? It's just like, well, we should have just grow all over and not just right there. So I had a conversation with myself. Because, with self-awareness, that helps me and help us build around emotional intelligence. Because let me tell you something right from the beginning. You cannot manage what you refuse to see. If you watch Mariah and Patricia yesterday when they were talking about when they were on call talking about P did the top 10, none of that surprised me. None of the people really surprised me. And I guess because I've lived kind of in that world. I live in Alabama. I'm a Black woman, just in case you didn't know. And some of the things that are going on right now is just like, that's interesting. I remember my grandma sitting down or my uncle sitting me down having a conversation. And I knew that everybody in their households, I knew that some of my friends, I knew that they weren't getting sat down having this kind of conversation. But looking back on it now, it was a very powerful conversation that I just kind of grew up with. It was just kind of like you don't cross the street in the middle of the street. You go to the crosswalk and cross when the light, right? That's just how I grew up. So that when I got called out of my name, when people chose to use that N word, it never fazed me, right? And that's probably why Black people just use it so much now. It's just like we just don't, just like, oh, okay. But it was my grandmother, my uncle the one told it to me first. My uncle said, because I got upset because somebody called me that, because that's the definition of the word is ignorant. So I'm just like, it's like you're not, we walked this out. And I was like I was in elementary school. I remember that. And he's like, you are what you answer to. And if you don't answer to that, then you don't have to worry about it. So I was like, but, and then that was when you don't worry about what people call you. As long as they don't put their hands on you, don't worry about the words that come out of their mouth. So that was conversation. Okay, 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 cool, 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 cool. Right? So now as an adult, being self-aware of who I am, a lot of that stuff just like water on a duck's back. Be like, oh, that's what's going on now. Oh, that's been going on. Now, what I do applaud is that I listen at P and how she gave all of the information, and I was just like, that is very interesting. And then she asked a question about Google, and I was like, you want to know because we got this one, and this one, and then we got these two little ones over here. There's a big one. There's a top. But in order to get there, you got to go through all these little people, right? You got to go through the little people and trickle down, trickle down, trickle down, right? Trickle all the way down, even the little people, even down to the person who cleans the floors of top said buildings or companies, right? So these people are they step, and do what they have to do. But these people they can't, they're not supposed to ever get near up here. So there's a ceiling. Y'all remember the glass ceiling? Women used to think that the glass ceiling meant that they couldn't get higher. No, that ceiling wasn't necessarily meant for women or per se. It kind of was, depending on who you was and what your what your upbringing was, right? Y'all put this into perspective, right? Because it's going all the way back to self-awareness. When you are aware of self, right? And self-awareness is not about beating yourself up. That is not what I'm talking about. It's not talking about sitting in shame. It's not talking about calling yourself bad, broken, or unworthy. That is not what I'm talking about. Self-awareness is about telling yourself the truth with enough grace to grow. When you learn about the people, like what she was talking about, those top people, you sit down and you don't be like, oh, I don't want to hear that crap. I don't know if I got time for that. What you do is, well, where do I fit in that paradigm of this world? And then usually, now that you're aware, then you kind of stop coming out. You don't blame everybody else for the emotions maybe that you're feeling because you didn't get the job. Or why can't you come from down here and be up here with them? It's not always about color. The only color I think that's going on in the world right now is green. Green. If you got the money, then you pretty much are on game. Now, for people like me, money isn't my motivating factor. It's never been my motivating factor, which is why me and a lot of people just kind of don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. And because I'm self-aware of, I'm okay. I don't need to have $1 million in the bank. Do I want $1 million in the bank? I don't even know what I do with $1 million right now. I think I can get up to maybe 500,000 of using it. No. Y'all put in the chat. If you had $1 million right now, what would you do with $1 million? Let's look at it that way. And if y'all hear the dogs, they've waken up. So they're good. Okay, so these papers right here, I'm gonna flip through these papers right here, and I'm gonna take these papers, I'm gonna staple them together, and then some of them won't get stapled, some of them will be turned into, this is a Coptic stitch book that I've already took some of my pages and put a hardcover. That's my journal, art journal. So that's that. I think I did it upside down. Well, I did this one upside down. Okay. Julie, hit that live button, girl. Remember, come in. If you came in after I started the stream, if you wasn't here, then hit that live button. I live in Bama too. Lisa, where you at, girl? Alicia. Is it Alicia? Alicia. Alicia. Where are you in Alabama? Roll Tide. This is my girl. She over there. I've used her a lot. She had to go over there and dry. But Eddie, I don't know if you saw this. This was the paper I was saying I did earlier this morning. Because y'all know from yesterday, P and got me over here getting my pups together. So I'm gonna be stamping and doing a whole lot of things when I get to get my papers up. But I used this paper and I said I was gonna be cutting this one out this way. So that's one of the papers. Yeah, see when that live, yeah, I just saw that whole thing just kind of skip. You're not behind. Julie, I don't think it's you because my screen right here literally just jumped. So it might be. I actually thought they are going to think I'm behind. Yeah, you're not. I just saw what it did. It just did a okay. Zal said invest in our super. I don't know what that is. I'm quite sure that's something in Australia. Zal said, if I had $1 million in the bank right now, I would take more. I love it. Zal said, I'd take more naps, intentional. I love that. Let me see. If I had $1 million right now, I think I really can really spend it without thinking about me 100%. Because maybe 40%, because I have to be the owner of the million, right? So I have to be the owner. Let's walk this out real quick. Okay. I would go and buy my villa or get my villa in Italy. It will be in Tuscany because if I had a million, I can really, really say I want it in Tuscany. Right now, I'm just saying in Italy. But I want it in now, would I want it in Tuscany? I don't know. I still think I want it somewhere near the coast. So I don't know if I want it in, I don't know. I have to do some research. But let's just say the villa in Italy, it will be a 12-room villa. And it would sleep maybe a couple of rooms would sleep, maybe four for people who couldn't afford to have a whole suite. Like, Eddie wants to have all his own room. Zal will be okay in the rustic room. I don't know if she's okay with sharing, but 12 rooms. So that makes it really 10 rooms because 2 rooms would have to be for me and then my whoever my art guest is going to be. Tuscany, specifically Florence. Okay, all right, there we go. All right. Florence is so busy that, yeah, see, that was the other thing. So we don't want it to be too busy. We want it to be where we're gonna be busy. Yeah, y'all work that out. Okay, but that's what I would do. That's one thing I do. So we looking at maybe the finance of that. I don't know how much that would probably be half of me. Because when you think about $1 million, you got 500,000. And 500,000, you're there, right? Or either my zeros are off one, right? So most of it will go on house, lodging. And I want a caregiver, not a caregiver, a groundskeeper, so that someone could keep the place up. Because I don't want to do it. I want to art. I want to hang out. But I do want it to be to where there is people there every quarter, right? This isn't just, I want it, so the art people, I want it to be kind of not necessarily near airport, but within an hour so we can have transportation. I want a chef for whenever we're going to have people there. Um, so yeah, I think my meeting would just go and create an art retreat. I think that would just be it. I'd have a driver and a book and a cook. I know what you mean. That's cook. That ain't a book. That's a cook. So that's kind of where you look at it. Now, if we were here on the ranch, and if I didn't lose the ranch, the only thing I would do here is I would add possibly um two little tiny places, tiny houses that are fully equipped for lodging. A pool, I'll put in a pool because I feel like we need to have a pool here in Alabama. This is here in Alabama. And I would hire again someone to take care of the cooking and someone to get my guests from the airport because the closest airport is Atlanta. I wouldn't want them to necessarily have to fly into Columbus because then they'd have to get in Atlanta, then fly, then get on another plane to get to either Dothan or Columbus. So I want to have someone to pick them up in Atlanta, take them to dinner, and then drive because I'm 2 hours from Atlanta. So that's the kind of thing I look at, like right with the fun, the art. Now, if I had a million and I needed to help around where I live personally, then because of where I live, I'm rural. I don't have a problem with seeing homeless. But I probably want to sow into my community, maybe in Montgomery, Birmingham, to maybe build, like buy a old hotel that is no longer in, they trying to sell it, and then turn it into a transition, not somewhere that people have to stay, but try to help them. That's kind of where my mindset has always been. But I don't know. You usually get a lot of pushback from the people that say you can't do this or you can't do that. It does work as a nonprofit, and that could work too. So that's what I would kind of do, transitional, or help young mothers. I've done that, so I'm kind of hands already in that. Young mothers who have, they not married and had kids or having kids or young girls who are in school, something like that. That to just let them know that they're still worthy. They're okay just because they got pregnant and had a baby and they still might have the aspirations to go to college, that kind of thing. Help them, just saying. All right, let me go back. Super is a long-term savings and investment account design. Yeah, so Julie Parker, that's the thing. You can't invest it. I mean, you can't put it in the bank per se. We got to use it. I guess I should have said that right off. But if we had a million, because the other thing is we could put a million in and you can't even live off the interest these days. Eddie said, I build create homes for senior. Oh, now that's a good one. I like that. Now, Eddie, I have a question. Create home. Is there a lack of such places now? Curious. Um, right across the river from Columbus. So you're in Phoenix City? If you're right across the river from Columbus, that means you're in Phoenix City. Lady Devil Dog. I like that. Lady Devil Dog. I feel like there's a story behind that. I feel like we need to talk about that. I come to Columbus. I got family that lives up in Columbus, Phoenix City area. I usually come up. Look, when I want to go and hang out in the big town, Columbus is usually where I come. We come up there to eat at the crab place. Yeah, well, look, we might have to meet at the Hobby Lobby or a Michael's. Hey, y'all need to go outside because y'all doing too much. All right. Okay, so this one, think about it. This is how it starts off, y'all. This is how this gets created. Starts out like this. Then I take this, and again, I just took some pages and put them together. This is even brown. Y'all know that paper we get in our packages. You see how wrinkled it is up there? I just took them and cut them down and put them in here and stitched it. It's Coptic stitch. And again, this is, y'all hear that? It's, you might not be able to hear it, but, and that way it's my little art journal. And so what I'm going to do, see how I got some of the pages upside down, but I ain't worried about it. It needs to be her way. Okay, let's see. Did Eddie answer? Yes. There really aren't many places that are targeted to our community in our golden years and beyond. So even in the golden years, Eddie, what you're saying, they're discriminating against them being in the yeah. Okay, can you build one spot for me near? I mean, hey, I think that would be cool. Then and I can't invest it. We would probably sell this apartment and buy a better money. Go listen, Julie Parker, I got you. I got you. I feel what you're putting down in the words of Eddie. Um, and when Eddie, when you're saying community, we're saying because I'm trying to be real, like I want to know. Um, is there I don't know, like how do we do that? So like if we go to the like, will we have to put a like how would I know that my nursing facility here does not have said facilities? I don't know if I asked that right or not. I feel like, see, that's why I have to talk. That's why me and Mariah have private conversations because I don't know how to say it sometimes and I don't be wanting to offend. Okay, you need to sit down. No, move. Up in my tank, and that's a problem. So yeah, let's get Karen. In the words of Mariah, let's get me knowed up on some things. Um, just a little bit, just a little bit. All right, let me go back. All right, let me flip through these. Oh, and check this out. This is my handwriting. I did this. Doesn't it look familiar? That's the stamp. That's my handwriting. Hey, Mariah, look at Peace was little Peace, little Grace. Well, Grace kind of same. And I think love, excuse me. So when we're talking about, like I was saying earlier, when we're talking about self-awareness, when we get on the, because they were saying yesterday, people don't really, I don't know if it was yesterday or today, people don't really want to know about what they don't want to talk about. Not that they don't want to know, they don't want to talk about what's going on in the world today. Like me personally, I want to have conversations. Now, how deep we going in the water, I want to be able to know. Like if we're going to go too deep, then I need to have the understanding that I don't care how deep you go. If I go deep, we both are gonna stay cordial. Because sometimes when we get in these conversations, people want to go deep, but then they don't want to accept my reality. And my reality, like I said when I just started earlier, my reality is I'm a black woman. So I was born with two, as they say in the world, two strikes against me. I'm black and I'm a woman. Oh, and then I'm a one black woman with degrees and I'm smart as hell, right? But I like to, dummy down a little bit because I don't want nobody to think I'm a smart ape. I mean, but it kind of is smart. I'm just saying. Okay, let me get back. Eddie answered. Most nursing homes are focused on the needs of the aging. So my facilities will welcome to focus on specific. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. You're right where I was. That's what I was thinking. Okay. Okay. Got it. So how about this, Eddie? Why we spending this million? Because think about it. If you get a million, I got a million. If we got 21 people in this chat right now, that's $21 million, right? Do we all have to do the same thing? No, that's why I told everybody put in the chat, what would you do with your million? I want you to think about it from a place of not being selfish. Like, I want the villa in Italy, but I don't want it just for me. I want it big enough so that all you guys can come. Oh, and I'll pay for the plane because we're gonna have all you have to do is get your plane ticket, lodging, food, everything for the 7 to 14 days that you would stay will be covered. Now, this is my thought process, right? So I feel like we can get dual citizenship. And then we can have also, if we need to, have nursing, uh, assisted living. I don't like nursing homes, assisted living. Isn't that what they call them now? Assisted living. And then that way we can help with that. Because I don't like nursing homes. They're just so mean. They be put tying them up and yeah, I don't want that. But and then we're gonna have sponsors for paint. We're not gonna have to worry about supplies and stuff like that. Because remember, we had the top people, we had all these people over here. We're gonna go to the top. Like we're down here and we're gonna get the top because the top got X amount of dollars. Because remember, P gave y'all the 10 top people. She gave them to you. They got money. Now, remember I said green is what's winning these days. The little man, they don't want the little man to become the big man. That becomes a problem. That's why they have to, when you're out here doing dirt, that's why they have to get your dirt. They got somebody videoing you. That's why all these cameras and things, oh, all of a sudden they got video. Comes into play because now they have a hold on you. And so now they get to, I ain't going down that rabbit hole. I'm going to leave that alone. But when we have self awareness, and remember, self awareness is not beating yourself up. It's not telling yourself you're not good. It's actually telling yourself you're freaking fabulous because you are self aware of. Like I woke up this morning, it was spilling over from yesterday because yesterday's memories on my Facebook page took me out literally. They just popped up and it was, a time ago from my sons with everybody, all the things. And I wasn't prepared for it because it's not like the anniversary or whatever. So I was not prepared for it. But it was a time when a lot of stuff was being uncovered. And so that was the tagline, uncover the cover up. Because when you start opening your mouth and speaking up for things that are good, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When you start, let's flip through these pages first. When you start speaking up for things that are, you know, you all of a sudden you realize self-aware. You're self-aware. Now you realize, oh, this is wrong. That's wrong. I can't believe they've been doing that. Now you're self-aware. Remember? And if you, like I said, if you're following PM, you're following call, then you're being, if you don't know, then they are giving you a whole lot of information. I tell Mariah, I wish I could chat in the chat a lot more than I can, but I can't. Can't say a lot of things that I want to say because you just kind of, when your husband is who he is, you just kind of got to keep your mouth closed. Just know. But if you know, go down. A lot of the information that P gives is good. A lot of the information that you don't know, become self-aware enough to know that you don't know. That's where that emotional intelligence kind of come in, right? It's great to ask questions. The question they always say, well, there's dumb questions. Then no, the dumb question is the question you don't ask. Okay, hold on, I gotta ask again. I gotta go again. Back up, back up. Most nursing, I got that one. We have to commit to be open to any discussion, even if it's uncomfortable. Kindness goes a long way. Right, right. I feel like some of my best conversations have been over the last 5 years with my Caucasian friends that I've been friends with like over 20 years. They feel me as safe. They say I don't get offended. And I don't. Like, why? Hey, y'all gonna have to get out of here or sit down. That's too much jumping around, being all rambunctious and things. I'm gonna put you out. Hold on, y'all. Let me put the dogs out. Like, I'm not back on the door. They'll sit out there and then they get hot. They'll come and paw back on the door. Okay, hold on. Some good chat. Okay, I want a full building community. Could be an old campground or even an old mall. Okay. Sometimes uncomfortable conversations is where you learn things. I think we become self-aware in the uncomfortable places. Where's mine? I had some, I got some notes, like, P got notes. Where my glasses at? Listen more, pick your attitude. Leaders make or break the day. art. Art. How do you do it? Do you do it your way, emotional way, or do what you're told? Emotions have energy. This is just, I was just like going through some, not going through some things, but I was having, my morning. It's just like, okay, I jotted the things down because I was becoming self aware. All right, let me finish the chat. Not all nursing homes are the same, and they have gotten better than way back. They call them aged care home or residential aged care here. I want a nurse with a license to medicate at my care home. But people are going to stop letting the supposed dirt hold them back. Yeah, here's the thing. You won't be able to blackmail me. I'm gonna just tell I'm over here on YouTube telling all my business. You will not be able to medicate you specifically. I was thinking that too, Eddie. Um, who put the dogs out? Karen put them dogs out. Sure did. Okay, I think I'm all caught up. Ooh. Hey Becky. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I did. Okay, I think I'm all caught up. Big problem today is everyone is talking, but nobody is listening. Now that's a fact. Okay. So that's why to yesterday. That's my comments from yesterday. And then kind of I can't, like I said, I be in the chat yesterday at call and I be wanting to be just like, you just want to ask a couple of questions. No, I think it was today. It was today that was talking about that Thomas man. They were talking about him today. That was today. And there's so much more on the backside of stories. So having to have been on the backside of a lot of media in the last 20 years, I want to just drop this right here. The news people want to get ratings. That's it. Okay. They're going to tell you what they're going to tell you so that you can stay up on things. Now, we have a lot of tools now that we can utilize. Facebook tells a lot now. When people on Facebook, you pretty much can gauge who they are. And if you go back on their Facebook page, don't go back today, but if you go back on their Facebook page, pre-Obama, like you got to go way back. And I mean, you got to spend some time going down the rabbit hole. This is a rabbit hole I'm telling you to go down. If you're interested about somebody, then just go down, their social media. It'll tell where they stand, how they stand, who they are. And it's not a good or a bad thing. It just lets you know sometimes when they come from where they come from in their, some things they say, pay attention to what they're not saying. Okay. Well, I love this one. Pay attention to what they're not saying. Okay. A lot of people aren't self aware. And remember, self aware is about telling yourself the truth with enough grace that you are willing to say, hey, Karen, I didn't realize this, that, and that. Let's talk about it. Now you're willing to want to grow. It's kind of like looking in a mirror and saying, this is where I am, Karen. This is what I'm feeling. This is how I responded to what you said. This is kind of what maybe triggered me a little bit. This is what got me in my feelings. And this is where I'm no longer willing to want to stay. So can we talk about it? Like, can we really talk about it? That then becomes a powerful ally, or usually it's either going to become a powerful friendship connection, or it'll be like this. Doesn't mean that they won't be friends. It just means that maybe they won't be like this, right? I have some friends. I have some black friends. We're not like this. Like we all don't get along, right? And sometimes I can say I'm more prejudiced against my own color than I am against other races because I am myself say this is what I say, and this is a self-aware thing. This is not a good thing, so I've already popped myself for it. Right? I say you should do better. You should be better. Like, didn't you learn anything? Where you been? And then I have to be aware that everybody wasn't, for one, raised where I was raised. Everybody is not who I am. Everybody doesn't accept accountability for their crap like I have. So I have to step back. That is emotional intelligence. Okay. Because this conversation is not just about information when two people talk, it's going to be about the transformation of the friendship. Are we going to be close? That I can pick up the phone at 2 o'clock in the morning and be like, yo, I thought about what you said and I don't know how I feel about that. Like, did you really mean it this way? Let's, you gotta, when you talk to me, sometimes we're gonna do a lot of breathing. We're not gonna drink alcohol. We're gonna drink water because I don't like mixing alcohol with deep conversation because nobody becomes self-aware of themselves when the drinking comes in. Right? I'm just saying. Um, so let's talk about the importance of being why I feel like, why I personally feel like self aware, meaning self, is important to me. And before we can talk about self awareness, I want you to understand the bigger picture, which is the emotional intelligence. Everybody's talking about AI. I want to talk about EI. Get it? EI. Feel like this just feels like it needs to be. Those that didn't understand that and handwriting, there it is. EI. Emotional intelligence. Yes, I did. Just sound that out. And did. Right? Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, manage, and express my emotions in a very, very healthy way that I personally have recognized and respond to, trying to learn how to respond in wisdom without getting angry, with a lot of compassion. And I'm trying to grow in it. Like, I'm still breathing, still creating. So I'm still learning. Right. So my emotional intelligence is still evolving because this is something like I feel like I wish I'd have learned in elementary school. Because when you take emotional over here and intelligence over here, intelligence, you think, oh, smart. It has nothing to do with that, it's not that. So no, it's not just about how you feel. It's about how you handle how you feel, right? Again, like I said earlier, when somebody used to call me the N word, my emotional intelligence way back when, because I was taught younger, don't engage, you know, because everybody has emotions, but everybody gets hurt when I strike back. It's like Becky, I'm sorry, but your name is just one of those names. It's just like they always say they're over there crying, and the social media then call them Becky tears. It's like I can water my yard with all the tears when I strike back, right? Everybody gets hurt then now when the shoe's on the other foot. Everybody gets disappointed when I say no and instead of yes. Everybody gets frustrated now because I'm not over here in my feelings. I'm very crystal clear on what I want, what I don't want, and I've put up boundaries, right? Everybody has moments when they feel misunderstood, overlooked, rejected, tired, and just overwhelmed and triggered. Been there, done that. So for me now, my emotional intelligence asks a deeper question. I ask myself really quickly, what do you do with what you're feeling? Right? When Mariah and them, when they get to talking, sometimes they get to talking, I'll be like, wait, what you say? And then I have to pay attention and listen. Like, oh. Then I get my piece of paper out, right? And then I have to go deeper with it. Sometimes people need to think before they say some things in the chat because everything that comes up don't need to come out, which means you have to think about it. I don't explode. I'm trying not to shut down because I do shut down. I try not to give people the silent treatment because I can. And I definitely don't blame everybody else. It is not, if I didn't go to school and get a degree, it wouldn't have been society's fault because I'm a black woman. I never pulled a race card. That's the last card I want to pull. But sometimes, I mean, you have to. Sometimes it is about race. It's about color, and it's not the green color. Sometimes it is. I hate when it has to come down to it. But that's one of the hard questions the world, majority of the people in the world don't want to have. They want us to forget about slavery, but they want to talk about all the other things. I was like, well, if you want me to forget about slavery, and my family, I have a grandmother who is 4 generations removed from slavery. Her mother's mother was in slavery. Like, it's fresh. I've sat down at the feet of women who have talked about being a wet nurse. It's not something I read in my history, right? And being here in Alabama, I mean, I got plenty of people that are still living. I got some that's 104 years old. They can tell, have some stories. They can take you to some trees. They can talk about it. But some people in the world, what, you just need to let that go. Well, I'll let mine go if you let yours go. But my emotional intelligence don't even respond like that anymore. I don't even make decisions like that from the anger place anymore. Because what I do understand is they don't have the emotional intelligence to want to sit down and talk about it. Now, do I want to talk about it all the time? No. Do I want to talk about a lot of things that happened to my son because he was a black male who stood up and made a choice to not let the injustice be served? No. But it happened. It's a part of my life. It has forever changed who I am. But what I did need to do, y'all, this is what I needed to do. This is how I got on this emotional intelligence and went down this rabbit hole. I needed to be self-aware of when I come out and I start cussing somebody out about something that they've said, it's because it triggered me. Then I had to back up and say, Karen, why did that trigger you? It ain't got nothing to do with you, your family, or whatever. Well, it triggered me because what they just said about that child, they said about my child. And so I had to back it up, learn how to communicate, repair my feelings and my emotions, connect and build a healthy relationship with myself so that when I do say something, I can come out with social awareness. I can manage my relationship, right? Because if you don't know yourself, you will struggle and you will manage yourself based on what other people say about you. You will answer to what they call you, not who you are. Self awareness is the doorway to a lot. It is the beginning of emotional and just emotional maturity. If I knew this back when I got a divorce or when I broke up with my fiance, I wouldn't have been so broken. But because I was immature in my emotions and how to hold the two, not to take on the responsibility and say, well, what I do, but to say, hey, pause. All right, well, let's pause on this here and see where we're going. God might be taking you somewhere that you might maybe had to be with that zero so God can give you a hero and you know the difference, which is what happened. For real, for real. Emotional intelligence is where you stop saying, this is just how I am. And you start saying, this may be how I have been, but it's not how I choose to continue. I choose to want to have a good relationship. I choose to want to be able to talk about what some people consider the hard things in life because I like that girl. She kind of cool. She got good art. She come from a different place, but I kind of like that. Maybe I need to sit there and listen at some of this emotional intelligence, or don't go down the rabbit hole for yourself. I'm just saying. I'm over here trying to keep my joy, my peace, give myself grace so I can love on me. And if this helps you, great, wonderful. Great, wonderful. That's all I can say. But for me, over here in Create Your Studio, I want to be able to create from a healthy place. I want to be able to love, have joy, give myself peace, and have grace so that I can show up and be a healthy version of me. The old version 10, 15, 20 years ago, that young lady was so angry. And it was nobody's fault but hers because life had just done what it had done. And if I had the fortitude to want to sit down and ask myself, well, life, what are you done? What are you doing? Right? But self awareness is what matters now. I wish I was more self aware then, because self awareness matters, because you're always bringing yourself into every room, every relationship, every conversation, every conflict, every time you sit down to paint, every decision you usually make in your life, asking yourself, wherever you go, there you are. Your attitude comes with you, your wounds come with you, the fears even come with you, the beliefs come with you, bad habits come with you, all of that you comes into the next relationships. Your expectations of what you wanted in that relationship, that friendship, that job, it comes over to this job. Why? Because if you don't have that self-awareness that you are the attitude, the wound, the fear, the belief, the habit, all of that, you're just going to keep bringing it over here. It's just going to keep contaminating, and you're going to yellow and green, and then you're going to put some dark green in there, then you're going to have some pink, then you're just going to have a bunch of mess. But you mix all these colors up, child, we're going to do that, they still going to come out beautiful. As a matter of fact, we're going to do that right now, because I need you to understand, it doesn't matter where you've been, it's where are you now and what are you doing with now. And your joy, your wisdom, and your creativity, Lord have mercy, give yourself some grace. That is why knowing yourself matters. You got to know yourself. You got to know yourself. So that way, when you are showing up and you're the one that's coming up with all the negativity, or you feel the way you feel. Let's put it that way. You feel the way you feel. You're not wrong for feeling the way you feel. You're not. You have a right to feel the way you feel, right? Let's say that. Okay. But when you get in a group and if people just don't want to hone in and don't want to dance with you, it's okay. Okay. But self awareness reminds us other people may influence our emotions because they don't want to dance with us, but they don't have to. They don't have to. But they don't control our behavior. There's a difference, right? Some may say something, some may say some that's rude. It's not. Remember, everybody get to do what they want to do. We might not want them. And like Mariah says, she said, I'm gonna feed them until they eat it. Now she's taking a stand. She gonna dance it out. She gonna keep talking. She gonna keep serving. What's for dinner? Same thing that was for dinner yesterday. You gonna eat it, or that's it. You're not getting nothing else. There's no choice. You don't get nothing else. This is where we are. When you talk about this crap that's going on right here, right? Oh my God! When P said one day, she's like, oh my God, I can't remember what she was talking about, but she's like, oh yeah, we can say that we're white people. I just about had a, I fell on the floor laughing. It was just so daggum funny. If y'all can see my emotions sometimes over here when P gets talking and Mariah say something, and then she respond back like they're not on this live, on their live. That's what makes it so funny to me. I'd be like, did she just say that? But when you look at it, it's the truth. It's the truth. Ain't nobody got time to be hiding. We're over here being self aware. And then when we talk from our place of self awareness, we're going to let you know, hey, you disappointed me with that. I thought you were better than that. But it may hurt your feelings. But how you carry that hurt is still something I will possibly have to examine. You were like a Karen Watch there, man. The looks on my face when she said SOB, was it? I can't see them put yesterday's live together, and I don't know. I was like, boy, the coffee went that way. I'm constantly having to clean coffee up off my desk, off my laptop or off of my iPad because it comes up, it comes out, and I'd be like, Lord have mercy. But hey, I feel like the people that are in my chat that come over to my channel, that are on your channel, they're the people that want the authenticity. They're the people that want to support people that are not over here feeding them a bunch of jelly beans, telling them that it's sour balls. Oh, eat it. It's sour balls. No, it's jelly beans, but it's really sour balls. Now, see how pretty that was right there. Now, but this is what I want to do. Watch that, right? We got grace. We got grace, because this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about. This is how we can get together. This is how we can get together. This is how we all come together. This is what I say. That song, When All God's Children Get Together, what a time, what a time. Eddie, what song was you singing today? Because he had me over here with that one. I had to put it on the side. Because I was just like, listen to it. But when all God's children get together, this is what I see. This is what I see, right? I feel like, we got some greens, you know. You bring your pink with a little bit of that. And we got some purple. Everybody coming to the table, right? We're all having these conversations. These are some colorful, colorful conversations. This how I got to represent it, y'all. It's colorful. It's Pride Month, so I think this worked out even better. All right. We put some red in there. Gotta have some red. But when you're having the hard conversations and you get together, everybody can't be like-minded. Am I gonna agree with everything everybody says? I might not agree with it, but I might need some more understanding. I might have to say, you know what? Like I did with Eddie with what he was talking about. I needed some more understanding to make sure we was on the same page. Make sure not necessarily on the same page, but I also want to know where he was coming from. All right. So when we all get together, this is me. This is what I see when I say when all God's children get together. What a time. What a time. Not that we're on the same page for we all had $1 million. We're all doing something different. But we all understand. Oh, there's the dog. Sorry. I told you they was gonna come back. My bougie dogs. They say it's hot out there. Okay, now sit. All right. We come together, right? Come together. You got us? You got me? All right, there we are. We still can make something beautiful. We still make something beautiful, right? And then once we come together and make something beautiful, we're gonna keep that right there because that's we're gonna keep using that right there. That's gonna represent us. Put it over here in my there we go. All right, let's put that over there so I don't blow it away. But do you see? We still made something beautiful. Did everybody have the same thoughts? No. Did somebody get mad? Possibly. Did somebody not like the color? Possibly. Did somebody feel like they should have got more? Possibly. But at the end of it all, we came together. Some may not support it. That may sting. That may be, you might have to be like, well, they didn't support. They just took their million and left. Okay. And for your emotional intelligence, what you do if they took their money and act, you don't be like, oh, they don't like me. Oh, they don't want to be around us no more. No. Maybe you need to ask yourself, why did I place my worth in what they had to say? Why did I place my worth in their approval? Self-awareness gives you your power back. So what? They didn't like it. We came together and we did this. If they had to go over there and be perfect in their little world, let them be. It, Eddie, let me tell you something. If everybody was like me, y'all would probably wake up angry and mad as hell, have some itchy attitudes, and probably take like 3 hours to get out of bed. And that would just be very, very fun. That would not be cool at all. I like the way Mr. McCoy wakes up. He wake up. Good morning. He's very, very bubbly, very live. And then to be married to me, I'd be like, morning. Or don't let somebody wake me up and they say good morning to me. I'd be like, good would have been if you wouldn't have woke me up and let me woke myself up. Then it would have been a good morning. That's just funky attitude. See, self aware. I'm very self aware. Very self aware. And I have to laugh at myself now because I sit up and I be like, boy, I have to give Mr. McCoy his props though, because he takes some of my attitude on the chin real good, real good. I come out my mouth sometime and I be like, shut the hell up. Like he don't even have to say it. I just tell myself, shut the hell up. Just be like, it's not that serious, Karen. I'd be like, but it is. Be like, but it's not. Somebody didn't wake up this morning. I'd be like, oh, you right, check. I don't feel like that was enough. I feel like we need some more. We need to come together again. So we need to come together again. And for those that are coming in, hello, I see you. I saw Lydia. I'm trying to keep focused because I just squirreled. I squirreled already. But I had to bring this into life. Life. Because I want us to understand there was a lot of green in this one. Let's put some gold in there. Oh, you know what? Let's put some black in there. We didn't put no black in there. How come not put black in there? We got brown. Oh, I got brown. Get green. Oh, there it is. Put some black in there. Oh, I didn't put black in there. Nope. There we go. Sprinkle it. It's just, hey, Lisa. Lisa, I got my daughter working on your question. All right, there we go. This is us. This is us, y'all. When we are self-aware of who we are as a person, not a people. We have to be self-aware first. First. Self-awareness gives you back your power. We want everybody to have their power so we can show up. One person saying something might get somebody's attention, but when you have 100 people showing up saying the same thing, you can't ignore it, right? And because without self-awareness you live and you kind of be on emotional autopilot and you don't know where you're going to be thinking from, you don't know how you're going to speak, or you assume, you know what they say about assuming, or you defend yourself before you even listen to what the people had to say. Or remember, we had people that withdrew and want to do their own thing, and then later on you're left cleaning up damage that could have been avoided if maybe we just had a paused along the way and ask, what is really happening inside of me, self-aware, so that we can come in here and everybody can kind of like have a meeting and be like, hey, Karen, I felt like maybe we could have had some more of that. And then I could have said, well, Eddie, what about this? Maybe you could have did that, or maybe what can we do to make this whatever? We're coming together. Maybe somebody over here screaming, no, nobody want to do that. But if you feel like it's what we need to do, then fine. Because we're not going to all agree, but we all agree on the common good. We agree that we need to do something to make this world a better place, which is why we're taking an art stance. We hang out over there on call and at PM Art Studio because they're one and the same. And we're learning some things. And remember, I said earlier, sometimes some of the things I just be like, oh, y'all didn't know that? I feel like I need to write a book. But then it's like you don't know what people don't know until they say they didn't know, right? But look at the difference when we added two more colors. Look how that came in. So when you ask the question, what is really happening in the world right now? That could be a good question. The question is powerful. But what is really happening inside of me right now? Now, not just what did they do, not just what are they doing, not just why do they keep doing that or what is going on, but what is happening in me. Because what is happening in the world right now, it's affecting you, affecting you emotionally. It's got you in your feelings. Mariah tell you she go to parties, she gotta make sure the people, hey, y'all don't know this is what's going on. Got us in a feeling, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But for emotional intelligence, I want you to think about and action yourself. Am I responding to this moment or am I responding to an open wound? Like, why am I responding this way? So, therefore, if people aren't listening to the first 3 or 4 words that come out of your mouth, then it's kind of like, oh, we're not doing the tango right now. Okay, we're doing a different dance. Let's change, let's change, let's do another dance. Change how maybe you say it, but everybody's dancing, right? That's when you become self-aware of things that maybe your voice matters. I feel like well, I already know I'll listen to Mariah in a room, so I can't use myself an example. But I know some people I can put Mariah and P in the room with them, and they'll be like, "What is this? And why they here? Do they not know? Don't nobody want to hear that?" That's what they would say. But those are the people who are like over it. They're like, I don't want to talk about that. Like, why we gotta talk about that, right? I got some people that don't want to talk about art. Forget about talking about what's going on in the world. They don't want to talk about art. But when you come together, when people that are self-aware helps you, this is what happens. We come together and we still make something beautiful. Now I took pink, green, purple, red, black, a dark green, and some I think this is some gold. I put all those together because I want you to know that even though we come together all looking differently, we still show up in power. We still show up and make something great and wonderful. We do. So just as was said, to piggyback on what they say over there at PMR Studio, get knowed up on some things. There's so many places right now blacks used to own. They had their own. Blacks were self-sufficient. Didn't have to go outside. Why? Because that was how it had to be. Here in my hometown, I can go to a building right now where it still shows on the door, whites only. Still, to this day. I mean, we don't use it, but for history's sake, it's here. It's happened. We're not walking around here acting like we don't. The lady that owns it happens to be one of my good art friends. She can't change it. It's on there. It's ingrained. It's like in the concrete. Could she put something over it? Yeah, but I mean, we've all accepted the fact that it's there. It doesn't make it to where it's true now. What happened then, that's where it was. And sometimes, yes, that could be embarrassing to people. Ain't embarrassing to me. I got a grandmama that's still living. Both of my grandmothers are still living. The street that I walk on now, they couldn't even dare get near it. People don't want to have hard conversations. Remember, self-aware. If the conversations are bothering you, you need to ask yourself the question, why am I mad? Why am I sad? Why do I not want to hear it? Like, what's going on with me? Right? And if you do not slow down long enough to name you're actually feeling, that's usually when you get out here in these streets and say something wrong. And then you become a Karen. And then you're out here done offended somebody. And then now they ready to slap the crap out of you. Right? And you're gonna want to go and cry those tears that we're gonna put in a bottle because now you feel like you've been offended. Not you per se, but that person. You may think you're angry, but you're really hurt about something that has happened in your life. And this is why self-awareness matters. People that can't deal with having certain conversations. I don't understand why I always say the alphabets because I feel like I leave out something. I leave out some letters. LG, see, the community, I see, I feel like I gotta scroll way back up there to Eddie's text because I feel like he wouldn't leave nothing out. Um, Darn, it shouldn't be that far back. We're talking about $1 million. You way back there. LGQT. I say the alphabets. And if somebody wants to put it in the chat, Eddie wants to put it in the chat. Thank you. See what I'm saying? LGB. Now, okay, the T and the Q. I don't know. I know the LG. I don't know. We love our letters, but listen. But this is these kind of conversations, and I'm that's probably why I was a counselor, because these kind of, really, I did not know that's what the T and the Q meant. Huh. Now, how do you identify that? That's a whole nother life, huh? Well, I mean, we're talking about self-awareness. I'm putting it out here, showing you self-awareness. See, yeah, I got the L, the G, the B, but the T and the Q, and I thought it was another one. But I like to understand things so that I don't feel powerless, right? So I don't feel like I'm ignoring a person. Because here's the thing. I don't know if I told y'all this, but let me count these. See, we're supposed to be stamping. I'm gonna get to stamping while I'm talking, because that's what I was supposed to be doing. It's continuing to stamp. But I had to walk that I had to walk that out, that we can all do better together if we just get together. Um, but I feel like, me as a woman, as a mother who have lost children. I've lost two children and a granddaughter to death, right? I had to get my emotions together, because I was showing up angry as hell, right? And so I asked myself, like, um was I hurt? Was I still hurting? And then I answered the question. I was still hurting. I was overwhelmed. I was still angry. There was a system that was still victimizing my son for him standing up. He still wasn't getting the due for what he did. So it was unprocessed grief, right? The self-awareness became very, very, very important for me to stand up and say to myself, before I even said it publicly. 2 or 3 years it took me to work this thing out, because I had to name the emotion so that I can care for me properly, right? And you cannot heal what you keep mislabeling. I couldn't keep saying they did this, they did that. Yes, people came together and colluded in what happened. But that had nothing to do, that was over here, I was over here. The two had nothing to do with how I was responding, right? So I was here's the point. My healing was being mislabeled. I needed to call it what it was. Everything, I couldn't call everything anger. I couldn't let all the sadness underneath kind of keep getting covered up with the makeup and the paint, and making it act like everything was okay, right? And some of us, we do that. If you call everything anger, then you may never deal with the sadness that could be underneath. If you call everything like an attitude, she always had an attitude, then you may never deal with what is underneath, the fear that's underneath that maybe is causing the attitude. And if you call everything laziness, you may never deal with the burnout. Look, why are you so burnt out? You're not lazy. Like, why are you burnt out? What's going on? Are you over extenuating yourself? That was wrong, but we're going to let that one go. Over, that one. Yeah, that one right there. Because at the end of the day, Lord have mercy. Ain't nobody got time to be trying to pacify a grown man or woman from something that maybe happened and they don't know, and they want you to fix it. They keep blaming you. You did this, you did that, you did, and then you ask them, well, what did I do? Because instead of saying, I don't want you to be mad at me, how did I hurt you? How did I disappoint you? Don't be afraid. Don't I don't want to embarrass you. That's why I want to know about, the LGBTQ, how to say it, because I don't want to be embarrassed when I'm trying to say it, and then somebody's like, that's not what it is. You just don't, you don't support, or you don't care. I don't want people saying that. It's just like, no, help me, educate me. So when I get out here in these streets, I know what I'm saying, right? And then if people want to come and tell me, it's just like I had a lady tell me that I was that's where I was going with the story. So we get to it. The guy was telling me that I was discriminating against him. It worked with me. He was on my one of my associates when I worked at Dillard's, and I worked in the cosmetic department. I was manager of the cosmetics, and there was a young man that was the LGBTQ. I don't know which was what. I can't tell you, but he said that I was discriminating against him because he was gay. I said, huh? He said, yeah, and I'm going to file a lawsuit because you violated my civil rights. This is what I was just like, I violated your civil rights. You talking to a black woman? How in the hell I violated your civil rights? I was confused. I was just very much so confused, right? But this was probably this been oh Lord, this is like in 2015. So when we getting out here in these streets trying to learn the things. So, of course, we got to go up to the office. And the first thing I want to know is how I violated civil rights. I'm confused, and I've always let you know when I'm confused. Now, got to put this into perspective. I'm the only black female. I'm the only black I was in Colorado. We go to the meetings, go to the big meetings with the Dillards and whatever up in Colorado. We go up in Denver. I'm the only black. Okay. Female or male. I'm the only black. Let's just hold that right there. Put a pin right there so we can get the perspective, right? I comes in the room, so we're having the meeting. And keep in mind, this is the manager who tell me I always had an attitude. So she's like, well, Karen, don't get an attitude about it. And I was like, listen, I'm just trying to understand. I was not trying to violate anybody's civil rights. I just want some understanding. Like, can you help me so I can help him? So I can understand, right? How, because I was offended. Because for one, he said that I was, like I said, he said I was discriminating against him because he was gay. Y'all, I hired him because he was gay. Because he did some makeup, baby. And this is why he got the job. He worked at my Lancome counter. Amazing work. So I didn't understand how it was backfiring. Like, how in the world? So I had to have done something different because when I hired you, when I interviewed you 4 times, right? I did interview 4 separate times. You were gay then. We had a conversation about you being gay. I didn't understand where the problem all of a sudden came in. So how did I do it? I needed to have some understanding. But the problem didn't come with he and I. The problem then came with my manager because she kept telling me I had an attitude. I said, lady, and this is what I said. I said, lady, I do not have an attitude. I'm just trying to get some understanding. I said it about 50 times. And then after about the 51st time, I had an attitude. And y'all know what? They knew the difference in me having an attitude and me trying to get some understanding. Because by the time I got through shaking that room with some words and telling her and him where they could go and get off the bus at, I was over it. I said, now y'all can file whatever lawsuits you need to file. I'll be happy to say that by the time we left this room, I had went off on both of y'all. It took another one of his friends that worked for me because at this point in time, I had a transgender working for me and I had 2 other gay men working for me. And they had to tell him, I don't know what your problem is, but you're not finna mess up our flow around here. They had a conversation. He eventually came back and told me what he was upset about. It had nothing to do with his gender. It had nothing to do with nothing. He was mad eventually because I wouldn't give him his day off. So he had to set the groundwork so he can go and have the day off or have the weekend off that other people already had off. He had to be on the floor. And I was like, is this what we're doing? We're using the civil rights to come in here and tell somebody you gonna sue? After that, y'all know he had to get off my floor because I just didn't trust him anymore. It had nothing to do with who he was. He showed his character as a person That's what it was. It had never had anything to do with what he did, who he did when he came in dressed up looking nine, dressed to the nine, because they put him in the men's department. He was mad as hell then. But once I called Bill Dillard and told Bill Dillard what was going on, because see, I knew Bill from Florida. I was like, listen, I want you to know before this get up to you, this is not what's going on, but this is what happened. Had with witnesses, because when I come, I'm gonna come with my receipts, right? After that, he had to be moved. And then, of course, he didn't stay in the men's department long. Then he quit. I hated that he quit because he was a good worker on my floor. He didn't like working in the men's department. He was a great guy, but he was also a young man. Hopefully, to this day, that he's grown. Hopefully. But I hired him because I liked him. I thought he was great. Makeup was just flawless. Just he could slay a face, baby. He could just, oh my goodness. But self-awareness, there was none. And he was barking up the right tree because at that point in time I was doing a lot of self-work because I had already lost my daughter and granddaughter at this time. And I was already in school doing a lot of going down the rabbit hole, learning different things. So self-awareness, it kind of helps us with our triggers because if somebody triggers you, then I feel like I want you from this day forward, instead of you getting upset with said thing that person said, I want you to ask the question, why did that bother me so much? Right? Because self-awareness does help with understanding your triggers. And remember, triggers are things that cause strong emotions. We be like, oh, that just triggered me. And you don't even want to do that. It's like when I see a snake. Like, oh, I don't want to go that way. But we do. We fear the thing. Let's see, how do I want to say this? The thing that we fear the most is the thing that excites us the most. Write that down. Write that down. The thing that we fear the most, is the thing that excites us, or the thing that we pay attention to, or it stays on our frontal lobe. That's not mine. That's Daniel Goldman. Because when you have a trigger, what it does is it tells the mind, hey, we've been here before. Hey, protect yourself. Wait a minute, hold on. Don't go over there no more. Right? So that very thing, it's fear. You keep the fear in front. But when you understand the trigger of the fear, you sometimes you can kind of talk it down. But you got to be self-aware that it's happening. Remember with me, with mine was like I said, the grief. Karen, why are you mad? These people in the store, y'all remember I told y'all a story about a woman in the store and the man asked me something about gas and I cussed him out? Hey, why did that just bother you? Hey, these people didn't take your son away from you. Why are you mad at them? And I had to be honest with myself because, when I get to the triggers about, life and death, they were real loud in my mind, right? Which looks so good out here. Sometimes you think about your triggers. For me, I know I'm being triggered, and I know I have to ask myself, "Hey, you need to walk away." My chest gets tight. Sometimes I fold my arms. I can feel my face all balled up. Sometimes I even bite my cheek, like literally draw blood. Depending on the situation, my tone can shift. Sometimes I feel like I got to get out of a situation, so then I have that fight or flight. Yeah, and that's usually when I want to shut down and go somewhere and cry or either start cussing somebody out because I feel like I need to defend myself because they feel like they want to try me. And because I've been self-aware of, things here lately in the last, 5, 6 years, I'd be like, why did that affect you so strongly? So I start having self conversations with myself and, not in a judgmental way, just in a way that asks myself, Karen, what's wrong? Right? What's the problem? And a lot of things that, in life, I've had to, back up and be like, that was your fault. I accept my foolishness. I accept my crap. Like now, my kids can't tell me I'm a bad parent. I'd be like, ooh, during that time in life, I guess maybe I was parenting on autopilot. They better be glad they ate. They better be glad we didn't end up in a car homeless in the van. Like, because I was just on autopilot because life was serving, right? Maybe you're not just upset because someone has wronged you. Maybe you need to think about self. It's okay. Well, I want to give you permission to think about self so that you can be self-aware. And we're not excusing unhealthy behavior. We're not saying that people that, seriously have done stuff for us, we're not even saying we're wanting them to come back and apologize to us. But what I am saying, and y'all know what I tell y'all, if I knock y'all down today and I come back next week and you are still down, that is no longer my fault. You can no longer blame me for you being down a whole nother week, a whole nother month, a whole nother year. But what is, if you get up and I come back next week and knock you down again, and now then it'd be like, yo, hold on, I gotta put up a boundary because Karen she be coming and knocking me down, and I'm not standing for it no more. So when I come and show up, you'd be like, oh, we got boundaries for her. Oh, she's knocking people down this week. You wouldn't get knocked down, right? Self-awareness doesn't excuse unhealthy relationships. It just puts things in perspective. Be like, oh no, I need the boundary. Yep, here it comes. Okay. All right, I know that. I know what she gonna say. Know what she gonna do. I'm ready. And you tend to brace yourself for the impact. Be like, all right, I got it. I can handle it. She finna say something that's gonna knock me off my socks. I got it. Ready. And then it no longer becomes a problem because now you're self-aware that you let me have all the power. And I want y'all to take your power back. I don't know who got it. Take it back. Do we have to rehearse and relive what happened? No. If you got to get your point across, give a story, move on, but don't let people, because most of the people that have, have hurt us in the past, they're not even thinking about us. So don't let them live rent free in your head. Seriously. I don't care if they're your mama, your daddy, your cousin, your sister, your brother. I don't care. Don't let them live rent free in your head. Become self-aware of who you are because you deserve to heal. You deserve to be able to go on the beach and walk and put your feet in the water and feel healed and feel, calm. You deserve it. Emotional intelligence says, I feel this. I got this. I do not have to be ruled by other people's feelings. That's what is intelligent about it all, is you owning it. So self-awareness gives you the pause. Y'all know me, pause. Triggers are always associated with a type of trauma. You got to admit both of those because everybody doesn't want to admit. A lot of people use the word I'm triggered, but they can't answer why they're triggered. And then if you go to say, well, something that happened, then sometimes, and I'm talking about people that don't know how to walk this out, sometimes they don't want to own up to something that's happened that has made them be triggered. Again, self awareness. Things that have happened to me in the past, they happen. They're not happening, right? Listening to my grandparents talk about stories of things that happened to them, they get triggered when they have to remind themselves. It's not happening now. I'm safe. Having to hide under the floor so that you're not beaten, they're safe. My grandmother, when she hear me talking sometime now, she has to remind herself, I have a voice that I can say whatever I want to say. I will not get beat for the words that come out of my mouth now. I can say what I need to say. It took her a long time. My one grandmother, my other grandmother, my mother's mother, she has always had a mouth. That's where all the spice comes from. But my dad's mom, she's a little bit more submissive to the point to where it's yes ma'am, no ma'am, and I'm like, shh, whatever. To the point to where somebody disrespected her. I was like, hey, don't talk to my grandmama like that. Till she wanted to grab me and yank me and be like, girl, and I'd be like, nope, that's not how we do that now, grandma. Mm-mm. No, 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 no. We're not doing that. And then she'll have to come into today and realize, wait, okay, you're right. I don't have to be talked to like that. And most of the time, it's usually the older generation talking, because they're used to it. Be like, no, baby, I respect you as much as you respect me. Cause they'll pull that respect your elders. I'd be like, hey, if they not worthy of being respected, I'm not respecting them. I'm just saying, they not finna talk to you out the side of their neck. You ain't wet nursing no babies today. I think the first couple times she was just like, don't you embarrass me like that again. And I was like, and don't you embarrass me like that again. We had to sit down and have a little conversation. We had to have a whole bunch of people in the room, but we had to have the conversation because that was at then, I think it was 19. It was in 19. You hear me? 19 and something. I had to respect her from her place, but she had to also respect me in my place. Respect doesn't come with age. Just because you're 102 doesn't mean that you get respected. You coming out of your mouth, you got to be held accountable for the stuff you're saying. They're just like we got, that person that's in the, up there. He wants people to respect him, but some people say he's not worthy of respect. I try to respect the office that he holds because it's the highest office in the land. So I try to respect the office, but sometimes it's so hard. Okay. Are we good? Everybody good? Everybody good? If you're good, put in chat, I'm good. I kind of want to go. I couldn't do two because it was just like every time I got to talking, I wanted to demonstrate, really hone in on what I'm saying about being self. I feel like I did that upside down. I did. But upside down, you're turning me, giving love, round and round. Y'all got that one? Because we've been singing in the chat all day. Right? Disappointment may be real, but disappointment does not have to make you better. Self management is the ability to pause, regulate, and choose. I'm angry, but I will not be cruel. That's what I tell myself when some things are going along around here on the ranch. You don't have to be cruel, Karen. You don't have to say it with a snappy comeback, Karen, right? I'm all about self awareness. I'm all about being more emotional intelligent. Okay. Now I've gotten these, and I don't know if y'all been paying attention. Y'all probably have to the beautiful art that these are done on. But I did a whole lot of gel printing on each one of these pages, and then I did some stamping. But the way I wanted to finish these off was embossing. I'm going to stamp my stamp. This is my new stamp right here. Um, over all of these pages that I'm going to turn into another book like this. It's going to be filled with my artwork. And a lot of these, for the people that bought my journals, that already have my journals, they have regular paper. These are on cardstock. I don't know if y'all paid attention to that, but these are on cardstock because I wanted them to have a little more girth about them, a little more, so that when you get them, if you get you one, remember, these are going to be sewn in a book. So these are going to be different. They're going to be Coptic stitched in a book. These aren't going to be like, oh, they're way over there. The other books that I have, the other little pamphlet books. God, they're way over there, right? And I think that when you put these together, they just make my heart happy. You say it like that. I believe that Catherine has not joined us live before. WT 50s. Why does that name sound familiar? Are you using chalk? Hey, Catherine. I feel like Catherine has been with us before. Catherine, you've been here before, or either I done been in a chat where you've been, because that name sounds familiar. All right. Do I need to go back, Carla? I don't see that comment, so it wasn't censored here by mom. Oh, Carla, what you said? What you said? Hey there, my comment gets censored. YouTube bots don't get when I'm joking. Oh Lord, Carla. But welcome, Catherine. Saw you were live and just I thought you've been here before. Okay, let me go back. Bill's grandmother witnessed firsthand the Armenian. Oh, trauma comes in many forms, unfortunately. Yes. People experience all kinds of trauma, big and small. Well, listen, let me tell you something. When you y'all, I'm finna be petty. That baby girl, that granddaughter of mine that's here, she got my glue, y'all. Let me show y'all the glue she got. And if you know, you know. She got this glue and she turned the bottle upside down and with gluing, I got trauma. It triggered me. I was just like, oh Lord, not my PVA glue. And I screamed. I was like, hey, I scared the hell out of her. I was like, oh, my bad, but hey, baby, what you doing with that glue? And she said, well, I ain't have no glue, so I got it off your cart. I say, isn't this the cart I told you that's off limits? Like, if it's on this side of the room, you're not supposed to use it. Your stuff on that side of the room in that little bitty box. You can't come over here on my side. She's like, well, I ran out. It's not my fault. You better get some washi tape. I'm done. I'm not giving you no more glue. Because she did. She's used up 52 sticks of hot glue. She done with that. She done used up Mod Podge. Now she was in. Oh my goodness! I said, nope, nope, nope. You better go on. And she's like, but grandma, how I'm gonna? I don't know. Do something that doesn't require glue. She looked at me like I'm ready to go home. And I said to myself, okie dokie then, you need me to call your mama? She's like, what? I was like, you look like you mad and you ready to go. She's like, I just don't understand why I can't have that glue. It's like, that glue? Baby, I given you all the glue I had. Well, when are we going back to Hobby Lobby? We're not going back to Hobby Lobby this week. And this happened last week. So she probably gonna ask me, are we going to Hobby Lobby this week so we can get some more glue? No, I'm not getting no more glue. I'm not buying no more glue. Oh, and she went through the Elmer's glue. Y'all, she's gone through a lot of glue in 1 week, was my point. Oh, yeah. My scissors, I got the good scissors hidden in the drawer under lock and key. So if I want I bring them in here every morning. I'm glad y'all walk with me. Walk with me. Don't get weary. Y'all understand. Y'all understand. Because when I stopped telling her mama because I think she was just like, well, welcome to my world. But hey, she your child. She's supposed to do that at your house. She ain't supposed to do that at my house. So we had to walk it out. But she got a whole bunch of washi tape over there now. But she set up, then she came back and she's like, well, can you show me how to make a journal from scratch like you did with her? I say, as in needle and thread, like you want to stitch it together? She's like, yeah. I was like, oh Lord, now this is the 9-year-old. I was like, yeah, I'm still drinking. She did a good job. I was gonna show y'all the journal, but she took it out because that's what she's using now since she can't use glue. She's she's washi taping her stuff into her journal. I'm gonna get her some more glue, but I needed her to understand. You have to be mindful of how much you use, especially when you don't buy it. 9-year-olds are pretty smart. Yes, Lord, she is very smart. Figuratively and intelligent. She's a smart A. Sorry, Heather, and I thought Karen is indeed a bossy using. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Flower paste. Wait, what's flower paste? Oh, wait. Okay, so they did flower paste too the first week. What do you call that stuff? Um, darn, they ain't got nothing over there. So they cleaned. I can't say I got after I got mad. I did. I got mad. I told them they need to clean up. This was not their studio. This is my studio, and I need them to clean up. So everything cleaned up. Everything, all the projects are put in perspective places now. So before it was all over there on the floor. I just couldn't walk in here another day. Just like, please clean up. And I was tired of being nice. So they got it. Like, I don't know where they're at now. They usually be making all kinds of noise. They might be somewhere looking at me talking about them. I hide everything from the hubby, scissors, tape, paper, etc. Look, Lynn, Mr. McCoy know not to come in here. I've showed him how much them Tim Holtz scissors was. He said, you ain't got to worry about me bothering these scissors ever again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. He said, you have never got to worry about me bothering them scissors again. And then I have another pair that I got from what's that store? Harbor Freight. I said, these are public scissors. Y'all can use them. Ain't nobody touch them. And then the one granddaughter, she's like, well, I like these because they're gold. I said, I bet you do. Y'all want all the good stuff. That's why I want it, because it's good. It's mine. But anyway, it's the husband or the grandkids. And it's only three, the two that are here, and it's one that's missing, are my arty grandchildren. So I'm not mad at them, but I just want them to just be a little bit more mindful. And so when we went in the store, went in Hobby Lobby last week, and my granddaughter, she wanted something. I can't remember what it was. And I said, you got your money with you? She said, yeah. Why? I said, because you're going to buy it. And then she saw how much it cost, and she's like, oh, I'll get it next time. I was like, oh, you don't want to spend your money? She's like, no, I thought you were going to buy it. Oh, no, I want you to spend your money so you can see how much this costs. Oh, look at this right here. See look how shimmery that is? I glazed this. I put glaze on it. I like the way that showed. It came up. Hey, Ivy Pearl, how are you? Oh, look at that. Um, and then the one granddaughter, her mom sews, so she knew the difference between fabric scissors, and she's like, well, aren't these your fabric scissors? And I was like, no, I use those to cut paper. I said, but I'm happy that you recognize the difference. So we having some fun around here, but on Mondays and Sunday, Mondays and Wednesdays, I've asked for can y'all just leave me alone? That means if PMR Studio is on, I don't want to share. I don't want y'all in here. Because, again, ain't no telling what's going to be said. It won't be saying, my grandma was listening to something and this lady was cussing and y'all, hey, get on out of get out of here. Grown folks in here. Just grown folk chat. And then when I'm done, I walk out and be like, hey, y'all can you can go in the studio now. And they'll come in here for about 15, 20 minutes. Then they'll be like, I'm done. I'll be like, well, why you don't stay in there? I'm finished. And if I come back in here and put something on, then next thing you know, they come back in here. And I say, well, so did y'all want to be in here with me? And they're just like, no, I just didn't want to be outside no more. It's like, dang, you could have said, yeah, you want to be in here with me. Because all I was going to do was do psychology. And I walked out again. 15, 20 minutes later, they walking out again. I said, yeah, they want to be in there with me because they want to be nosy. And this is old school. I'm an old school parent. Grown folks talking, children don't need to be in their mouth. That's me. Ain't nothing changed about that. I don't need kids in my mouth. All right, there we go. Got those all folded up. Oh, look at the yumminess. Oh, let's go. So 1, 2, 3. Let's do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, maybe three. So it's gonna be an extra. No, so these are gonna get Coptic stitch. Hey Diane. Hey Ann Webb. How are you? So these are gonna get Coptic stitch. That glaze looks like Hippie Crafter paint dries. No, actually it's Liquitex and Golden's gloss glazing liquid. This one. You know, and people been talking about all those things and they've been doing the books and stuff. Um, I had this from I think it came in some golden something that I had, and this came with it. And I like glazing. All right, so I'm not gonna Coptic stitch. So by the time Wednesday comes, hopefully these will be Coptic stitch into a book like this. And when you open it up, you'll have either three, I'll probably do three chapters, and you'll have all these pretty pages. Some of the pages will get done up and they'll get done some more, but I will not finish the pages because whoever buys the book, I don't want the pages because if I finish it off, with the wax, then you wouldn't be able to create or whatever on top. I want you to do what I want the person that gets it to do whatever they want to do with it, meaning add to it, continue, all the stuff that they're doing over there at PM Artist Studio. All right, that's that. Now let me show y'all something else. Y'all get to look at that. That's what Eddie was showing out over there on his channel today. Uh-huh, he sure was. It's in my little box. And Eddie, I gotta do my box. I think I will, maybe. I still haven't decided if I'm gonna, because that will require, I got some gel medium. Maybe let them use gel medium to do it, to do it. Ooh, that's a lot. Let's move on. All right. Okay. Anybody got any questions about anything I said earlier? Because I'm done. We're moving on. Unless something just drops in, drops up, and drops in. Uh, really? Didn't know that. Hmm. I have to get into that. But yeah. So I embossed because Eddie. So while you're on here, that's what I meant to ask, but I didn't know how to say it in the live when you were live earlier. On the little man, is that a hat? That's on his. Let's look at that one. Let's get one in the black. Yeah, right there. It looks like a bird. It looks like a hat. I mean, it could be, but because it's your cultural thing, I want to know what it is. It's a bird. Okay, thank you. Because that's why I said look like a hat, look like a bird. Got it. Boom. See, when you need to know something, you just ask. And people don't mind answering. But that's that. So all of those are embossed. Not all of them. Those I wanted the orange to stick out because the orange was good. That stamp already had some orange in it, but that was that. So we're gonna put that. But remember, y'all, I have been using what do you call it? Darn, what's that stuff called? That that dye. Jesus, I don't got a bottle on the table. Red. That red dye. These are some of the pages that I've been that are I've done them. Now they've come back. I mean, not that now they've come back. Now I pulled them out after a week. And this one has gotten darker. It is so pretty. And even it came through on the back. And I'm even loving it on the back. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully it kind of shows you on the back. There's that one. Sprayed some of these pages. No, these aren't the ones. No, these aren't sprayed yet. That's my redoing. This is just stamping that I did while I was looking at PMR Studio yesterday, doing the call. I was slapping paint on paper. This is literally, so I have to do these. But this is actually an old Daphne's diary that I've repurposed. Tammy, stop, Tammy. This is, there they go. Okay, these got sprayed. That one got sprayed with some orange and some golden yellow, I think it was. Look at this. And this one, we got the shimmer because remember I put the mica. I put that mica in that in the yellow one and the mica in another one. So we got a little shimmery going on. See Eddie showing out and how it came through on that side as well. Love it. Love it. I mean, look at that. These did so good. I'm like, and then it added for whatever, but now that it is dried, added a little bit. Added a little bit. So if y'all got some red dye in the house, go in there and get it out the closet or out the cabinet. It's probably in there with the Clorox and the washing powder. Get you a spray bottle. Go to the dollar store and get you a spray bottle. Look at this one. OMG. I think I sprayed this on live. Then I sprayed it again. So I let the orange, I let the yellow dry. Then I came back and sprayed it with the red, which was red and then some brown. And see how the paint, the acrylic paint was like, nope, I'm the show. We can show up together. Because the acrylic paint just like, get off of me. It resisted until the red dye went into the open spaces. Just beautiful. Beautiful. And this is on that Bristol paper, so it's on a thicker paper. This one is. That one. This one. Sprayed it with yellow. Right in the center. That one did good. Sprayed and oh, what did I do with this one? I sprayed it and I did something else with the brown. P was doing something. What was she doing yesterday? Faux. She was doing faux. And because she was doing faux, I had something and it had some extra stuff and I put it around there. That's why I did that around there. And then that kind of sprayed, it kind of, I sprayed some water over it after. So it kind of bled over into there. I just let it do what it do. And this is what it looked like when it dried. But you can see again, it was trying to resist, but I put too much. I rubbed it on in and I don't know, it did good. I like that. Again, this one was with yellow, yellow. You can tell the difference in the yellows. This is golden yellow and this is yellow, yellow. So that was, yeah, that's it. Faux burn. Then that's yellow. This one was white and then I sprayed it. So this one's only been sprayed one time. I sprayed this one last night. And so I'm going to go back and spray around the edges, probably with another color. I like that one. And this was, if y'all see the crescent, the crescent, it was a long haul that I had did. So that's why these papers are the ones that had a lot of white space in them. And so that's why y'all keep seeing the same design. It's because me and Eddie was hanging out that day doing a long haul. And after Christy Hartman and Eddie threatened me with these daggum sprays, there we go. But look at this one right here. So this one got sprayed with some green, but then I sprayed red on it, like when I started spraying. And then yesterday I sprayed over it with yellow because it was up under something. It was the base that I was using to spray. And then I saw how this was doing over here, and I was like, oh, look at that. And so then I just sprayed this, and you can see the shimmer because the spray that was up under there has that mica in it. So we got a little shimmer going on. And look how that came through the back. This one we sprayed a little bit, but it was on different paper, so it didn't kind of respond, but it did pretty good. This is regular magazine paper. I don't think I sprayed this one. Nope, nope, didn't spray that one. Do I have a spray bottle up here? I do not. I do not. But that yellow, I want to spray this. Hold it, let me grab it. And this yellow is regular lemon yellow. This one is this. When it comes out from Oklahoma, when it comes out, I mean, when you look at the yellow on the bottom, you would think it'll come out this color yellow, but it doesn't. But it looks like this. This isn't mixed. This is just some of this and some water, right? But it does, there's that yellow one. It does turn yellow. Like that's really not, it does turn yellow. So it kind of looks like it. But I wanted to do this one. But we're gonna put paper up under here because we gotta. I don't know if y'all realize I cleaned my mat. It was really, really dirty. So let's see. We gotta shake these up. Shake it up, baby. Carla, you know what? My other chat over here, for whatever reason, isn't moving. And it says teach her to make flour paste in the sink. Did y'all just it meant for me to see that because the chat over there is just paused right there on that. And they learn how to do that. Carla wanted to go from the studio to the house. I wish I had a sink in the house. I mean, in my studio. Then I think it'll be great. But they're gonna go outside and pick some flowers, and we're gonna laminate them. Okay, see this one? It didn't look like that. And it also depends on what kind of paper you use too. Now I saturated that. I just kind of made that one nice and moist. I feel like maybe I did pick up the wrong one because it seemed like it should have been yellow, but that's my new spray bottle. Maybe it's what's already on there because it's supposed to be this yellow. I think it's because of we got brown on there, but no worries. Hold up. Wait a minute. Yeah, I don't think that's the color. Might have picked up the wrong spray bottle. Don't know. It seemed to be yellow. Hold on. Yeah, that's it. Well, then maybe it needs to dry. Mine have not learned that. My doors would all be stuck. Okay, so when they did do the flower, when they did, because one made a ladybug, the other one made a bird, and she made a little record player. And so when I got ready to leave the studio, my door is just it felt like it had just it was just messed up. I just laughed about it. And I mean, there's no getting mad. It's just oh, that's interesting. It's kind of what I said. And so I was like, hey, can y'all get the can you get a washcloth and clean my doorknob? And I don't allow Play-Doh. in the house because it always ends up on the floor and somebody always ends up stepping on it. And the youngest granddaughter came with some stuff. I said, "Is that Play-Doh?" She said, "No, it's not Play-Doh, but it's worse than Play-Doh. I don't know what it is, but it's all over the floor. And my kitchen is white. Floors are white, cabinets are white. And it's because I don't have kiddos in the house anymore. But I'll be be cleaning up when they leave to get them back, all the hand marks and things off. Okay, this is going to dry and it's going to be like this yellow. It's not going to be this bright yellow. I feel like this is mixed with something. I feel like mixed it up with something. And I believe I did. You know what? I did. Y'all, I did. I mixed it up with some Dina Wakley gloss sprays. That's what it was. That's what this one was. Hence the kind of neon color. But this also dries with a nice color too. So it brings it out. It really does. But this right here is my favorite. So when I get to putting this in a book, this one will be staying with me. It won't be going in a book that's gonna leave. And so after these pages, dry, I'll do something else. Look at them flowers. This will go in a book like for I did some of these like in Bernadette's book because she likes to do pencil work. So it's like she'll get some stuff like she can color in the flowers, like in that right there. She'll get those so she can get a pencil, her any kind of pencil or pen with color and use it to do it. So that those I did a lot of those. Okay. I feel like well, it's Monday. Usually I ride out on Monday, but y'all know since I got guests, cut these puppies shorter. I'll still be in the studio, but you know, I've kind of had them out all day because I started out with PMR Studio. Then Eddie came on. So it's kind of like they ain't been in the studio all day. Eh, but it's okay. And then we're having house guests tomorrow. So this week is kind of not mine. It's not my week. It's not my week. I was going to get some Rit dye, but I did Rit dye, but did a little investigation. I learned that it is not archival for paper. It's not acid free. Oh, so here's the thing, Lynn. There is another kind. Okay, so there is one. I think it was. I think it was this one that the reason why I got this one. But there's another one also. Um, that is good for dyeing paper, and it is acid free. I feel like these new ones. It did say it on here somewhere. Because I did some homework on that too. Um, I feel like it is. Uh-huh. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. But I got to go back and get the information because I went down the rabbit hole on it because I needed it to be acid free and I needed it to be I didn't want it to what do you call it? I mean, I don't mind it yellowing up later or getting kind of old looking. That kind of would be cool, depending. But I feel like I did go down the rabbit hole about that very thing. Now, Lynn, you ain't gotta go buy none. Now, I can share. You ain't gotta buy none. But Lynn, what would you be using it for? Curious. I'm curious. My puppy is like, hey, are you not done yet? I missed morning streams getting ready for the appointment I didn't have. Oh Lord, don't that make you mad? It's like, could y'all have called me and saved me? You mean okay, yeah, journals. That's why I feel like I went down the because one of the things I went down the rabbit hole on the I had to watch the date, but when I went to the store, I looked at there's some that says I'll pull it up. Yeah, paper dyeing. And that's what she did. She did paper dyeing, but she said something about the dye, like the Rit dye. And I feel like this one is over here. I don't know. I don't know. Listen, I done slept since I bought dye. But I kind of like the way it's coming up. And the other thing is because I'm using it with paint and all the things, but that is something to pay attention to with the paper dyeing. But it's been dyeing these daggone papers pretty doggone good. But that is something to pay attention to if that's where how kind of how you want it to be. But yeah, I think we should go down on that. Go down and figure out like which it is. Okay, Natasha at Treasure Books used Easter egg dye on paper. Yeah, I've used Easter egg dye on papers too. And when you're looking, that's why I think Julie Parker had said something about Easter egg dye and food coloring. And I think the Rit dye had to be changed because people were dyeing it with their clothes. I think it was something I remember with that, but I don't know. No. I don't know. I won't even try to act like I remember because I don't. I remember a lot of things and I remember going down, but I'd have to ask the questions. I'd have to go and ask some more questions. And then we'll have some more questions. And then we'll have some more and some more. And then next thing you know, we'll be having a whole discussion over here about what's the best thing to dye papers with. I do like the coffee effect, putting my old coffee grounds in there. I just don't like putting it in the oven because I forgot it one time and burnt up the papers. Yep, been there, done that, did that, and did. So, all right, guys, I want y'all to practice self awareness this week. So, when I come back on Wednesday, we're going to talk about it. I'll ask you how you're feeling, and and I want you to tell me, maybe if you're self aware about some things today. Then by Wednesday, maybe you've given yourself a little quiet time to question yourself, not question other people, but question yourself, right? Because it takes a daily habit. Takes a daily habit. All right, guys, I'm going to see you later. I will see you guys on Wednesday. And remember, those that are new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, here's your invitation to subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button, that bell notification all, so that you'll be notified when I do go live. So, my beautiful people, thank you for being here. Self awareness is not always comfortable, but I found it necessary. It is one of the greatest gifts I could have ever given myself. Because when I became self aware, I stopped living blindly and I stopped blaming other people for my crap. I stopped allowing every feeling to become my reaction. I stopped letting everybody's opinion of me be mine. It's not my fault that I'm fabulous. I mean, let's be honest. I am. And so are you. So reclaim your power, become self aware, and know where you stand in your emotional intelligence. See you later, guys.